Welcome to Nightmare Story. I'm Lucas, your guide through the shadows. Here the night is quiet, but never safe. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and follow me into the places where forgotten footsteps echo and old fears wake beneath the darkness. This is where sleep meets terror. Are you ready? Tonight we drift into a story that probably shouldn't exist. A story that hums inside the wires of late-night phone lines, in the static you pretend not to hear, in the vibrations that rattle your nightstand, even when your screen swears nothing is calling you. Tonight, we step into the soft, dark hum of a bedroom, illuminated only by a cheap digital clock, and you feel that tiny prickle along your spine, the one that always shows up when a mystery notices you first. The air is still, your eyelids heavier than your thoughts, and yet, even here in this calm, you know something is listening, something waiting. You probably won't survive this. And before we let the night unspool, here's the quick ritual. If you genuinely enjoy my stories, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. Now let your breath slow, the edge of the pillow warming under your cheek, because let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're half asleep when the first ring slices through the quiet. Not your ringtone, not any sound you've ever assigned to any device you own. It's deeper, older, like someone dug up a rotary phone from an antique store basement and plugged it straight into your skull. You blink at the ceiling, sluggish, confused, trying to decide if this is a dream or just one of those auditory hallucinations your brain likes to play after midnight. But the ringing continues. Your phone, your very normal, definitely not haunted smartphone, lights up on the nightstand. Not a normal notification glow. No, this one pulses like a lighthouse beam, slow and deliberate. You sit up, rubbing your eyes, expecting a spam call, maybe your bank, maybe your cousin who forgets time zones exist. But the screen shows a number. Not a normal number. +10, 2037. You stare at it, your finger hovering but not touching, because no part of that makes sense, and your sleepy brain is trying to perform Olympic-level mental gymnastics to justify something that refuses to be justified. The phone rings again. A third time. You swallow, throat dry. You answer. A hiss of static greets you first, soft but strangely rhythmic, like waves hitting a shore you've never visited. Then a voice crackles through, a voice that sounds like yours, but strained, older, like someone dragged your vocal cords through 10 years of bad decisions. Listen carefully, the voice whispers. You don't have much time. Your heart thuds once, twice, then trips over itself. Who is this? You ask, trying for steady, but landing somewhere between anxious squirrel and confused customer service rep. It's you, the voice says, from the future. You almost laugh, almost, but something in the tone, raw, urgent, too exhausted to be performing a prank, hooks into your nerves and pulls tight. Sure, you mutter, and I'm bay and say. A crackle, a sigh. Check the sidewalk tomorrow morning, the voice says. You'll see the first sign. Don't ignore it. If you do, none of this stops. None of what stops. But the call drops. The line goes dead so abruptly you feel it, like the air pressure shifts around you. Your phone screen returns to the lock screen, innocent, betraying nothing. You wait. The room waits with you. Then, because denial is the soft blanket you wrap around your brain, you decide you hallucinated the entire thing. Sleep deprivation, stress, something weird you ate earlier, whatever. You shove the phone under your pillow and lie back. Except sleep doesn't come. Your eyelids close, but your mind keeps replaying the voice. Your voice, but not yours, saying listen carefully. You try breathing exercises. You try counting sheep. You try counting the sheep's overdue bills. Nothing works. Eventually, you drift off into a shallow, uneasy half-sleep. When your alarm blares at 7 a.m., you feel like you've aged 50 years. You shower, dress, and convince yourself the night was a dream. You step outside, coffee in hand, morning sun warming your face, as if the world isn't quietly unraveling. Then you see it. Right where future you promised. A phone. Not a smartphone, not a vintage collectible. A battered black landline handset sitting on the sidewalk, the cord severed cleanly, its receiver slightly swaying even though there's no wind at all. You stop walking. The world seems to dim around the edges, muffled, like someone placed a glass jar over your entire existence. Then your own phone vibrates. Not a normal notification, a single, heavy buzz that feels purposeful. You check the screen. Unknown number, 2037. Your hands go cold. Before you can decide whether you're bold, stupid, or just curious, the phone starts ringing in your palm, same deep, resonant tone as the night before. You answer. You saw it, future, you says, voice slightly clearer this time, but frayed, like someone speaking through grit teeth. This isn't real, you insist. This is, I don't know, a prank, a weird ARG something. I wish it were. A bitter chuckle crackles in your ear. Listen, you need to follow the instructions exactly. If you deviate even once. What is happening? A pause. You're going to die, the voice says softly. But you can delay it, maybe even change it, if you do exactly what I say. You look down at the severed landline on the sidewalk. Its plastic scratched and sun-faded, like it's lived through storms you haven't yet experienced. This isn't funny, you breathe. I know, future, you whispers. A car passes behind you, too loud, too normal for such a surreal moment. Your first task, the voice continues, is to keep the landline. Don't let anyone else touch it. Don't throw it away. Don't try to destroy it. It's your anchor. My anchor to what? To the version of me that's trying to keep you alive. Another pause, then. And don't make the mistake I did. The call ends again. Your hand shakes slightly as you lower your phone, staring at the landline receiver. You don't want to touch it. You really, really don't want to touch it. But you do. And the moment your fingers wrap around the cold plastic, something unseen clicks into place, like a lock sliding shut on the inside of your reality. That's when you notice something else. Your own smartphone screen flickers. For half a second, no more, you see yourself. Not a reflection. A video. Your future self, staring into the camera with eyes that look like they haven't known sleep in years. Then the screen snaps back to normal, showing nothing but your lock screen. "Okay," you whisper. "This is fine, totally normal. It's probably just ghost Wi-Fi." Congratulations. That's your first joke of the day, and it's terrible. You tuck the severed landline into your bag because apparently that's your life now. But as you walk, the weight of it feels wrong, too heavy for plastic, too warm for something that should be lifeless. You keep glancing around, half expecting someone to stop you, to shout, to claim it. No one does. Not yet. You reach the street corner, and that's when you see the second sign. A payphone. Standing upright. In perfect condition. In 2025. You blink twice. Payphones don't exist here anymore. The city ripped them out years ago. But this one looks freshly installed, gleaming, polished, like someone buffed it with love and nostalgia. Then it rings. A soft, delicate chime. Your bag vibrates at the same time. The landline. Ringing. You freeze in the middle of the sidewalk as commuters pass around you like water around a stone. No one else reacts. No one hears a thing. Only you. The payphone stops ringing. Your bag stops vibrating. And all you're left with is a silence that feels far too intentional. You take one step closer to the payphone. Just one. It rings again. And that's where the real fear begins to settle, slow, creeping, curling around your ankles like smoke. Because the second ring isn't the scary part. The scary part is the voice you hear behind you. Your own voice. Whispering. Don't answer it yet. You spin around so fast you nearly drop both phones. The living one in your hand and the dead one in your bag. Your heart thunders hard enough that you swear strangers should be able to hear it, but everyone walks past as if nothing is wrong, as if you're not standing between a payphone from a decade ago and a voice that shouldn't exist behind you. But there's no one there. Just air. Just your own breath fogging a little in front of you, even though the temperature isn't nearly cold enough for that. You swallow, stepping back from the payphone, eyes scanning the sidewalk, the passing cars, the windows above. Nothing. No hint of your future self physically standing beside you. And yet the echo of your whispered warning still seems to cling to the space behind your ear like warm breath. Okay, you murmur. We're hallucinating. Again, that's normal. People hallucinate all the time, especially people who drink coffee on an empty stomach. A man passing by glances at you, judging you the way only commuters can. Brisk, efficiently, and with absolutely no desire to intervene. Perfect. Exactly the supportive emotional environment you needed. The payphone rings a third time. You flinch. This time, the sound is clearer, crisper, like someone increased the volume just for you. Your bag vibrates again, the landline inside buzzing like an insect desperate to escape. You stand there, caught in the crossfire of two ringing phones from two different eras, both demanding you answer, neither promising anything good. You make your choice. You pull the severed landline from your bag. The moment your fingers touch it, the payphone stops ringing mid-chime. It doesn't fade, It cuts abruptly, unnaturally, as if the sound itself were yanked from reality. And then, a heartbeat later, the landline receiver in your hand emits a soft double tone, beep beep, like a machine waking up. The receiver warms against your palm. A voice seeps through, cracked with static and interference, but unmistakably the same as the voice that woke you last night. "Future you. You're early," the voice whispers. "Good. Maybe this timeline can still stabilize." "Timeline," you hiss, lowering your voice even though no one seems to notice you doing something deeply weird. "What timeline? Why is a payphone calling me? Why am I calling me? And why are you being cryptic like some discount sci-fi movie trailer?" Future you sighs. It's a strained, frayed sound that makes something in your chest clench. "If I told you everything at once, you'd panic. You always panic." "That's fair," you mutter. "I do panic, but I panic better with information." "You'll get it," the voice says. "Bit by bit. Right now you need to focus. There's someone watching you." Your spine stiffens instantly. You look around. Crowds, cars, a cyclist weaving between pedestrians like he's auditioning for a stunt show, but no one looking specifically at you. "Who?" you whisper. "The woman in the long brown coat. Across the street. Don't stare." You absolutely stare. It's a reflex. You're terrible at following instructions. Across the street stands a woman in a full-length brown wool coat, high collar, dark sunglasses despite being in the shade. She's still, too still. People pass by her, but she's fixed in place like someone photoshopped her into real life and forgot to animate her. She's looking directly at you. Except she isn't looking. She's angled toward you, but her head is tilted just slightly to the left. Too slightly, like someone approximating what a human pose should look like. A mannequin pretending to breathe. Whatever she is, she shouldn't exist either. She's an observer, Future, you says. "Observer of what?" you whisper. "Of you, of this moment, of the anomaly you're carrying." You look down at the landline in your hand, suddenly aware of how wrong it feels, how warm, how heavy, how it hums softly like a heartbeat buried under static. "I don't want to carry an anomaly," you say. "I was hoping for, I don't know, a latte." You don't get a latte, you get survival. The woman in the brown coat lifts her head a millimeter higher. You stiffen. "Walk, Future," you whisper. "Don't run, don't look back, go toward the river, I'll guide you." Your feet start moving before your brain fully agrees. You push through the crowd, pulse racing, trying to look normal, casual, like you're not being directed by a ghost version of yourself holding a severed landline receiver in broad daylight. Behind you, soft footsteps begin to follow. You don't turn around. Future, whose voice sharpens. She's crossing the street, faster pace. Don't break stride, don't draw attention. "I am attention," you hiss. "I'm walking through downtown carrying a landline with no cord, talking into it like it's a sacred artifact." A choked laugh, static-filled. "You haven't changed." You speed up slightly. The city noises blur around you, horns, chatter, distant sirens. But what stands out most is the rhythm of footsteps behind you. Slow, deliberate, matching your pace perfectly. She's getting closer, the voice says. You need to get to the river path. Once you're under the bridge, she won't follow. Why not? You don't want to know. Spoiler alert. You very much want to know, but your survival instincts are finally kicking in, and they vote wholeheartedly for shut up and walk faster. You cross the next intersection. You don't look back, but you feel it, the presence gaining on you. The air seems to cool as she moves, like she carries a tiny winter with her. You reach the river path entrance, a downward slope shaded by overpass concrete, fewer people, more echoes, a perfect environment for exactly the wrong kinds of things to happen. Futu's voice softens. Good, almost there. You jog down the slope. The woman's footsteps quicken behind you, sharp, precise, unnervingly synchronized. And then, a new sound joins them. Another phone ringing. Not your smartphone. Not the landline. A third phone. The payphone. Except you didn't bring the payphone with you. You turn the corner under the bridge and freeze. There is a payphone under the bridge, standing in the shadows, waiting for you as if it knew your route before you took it. Its handset is already off the hook, dangling, swinging slightly, though there's no wind here. The dial pad glows faintly, pale blue. What, how? You stammer. It found you, Future, you whispers, voice tight. Don't touch it yet, not until. A cold pressure brushes the back of your neck. You whirl around. The woman in the brown coat is at the bottom of the slope, 10 steps away. Her sunglasses hide her eyes, but you feel her stare like needles. Her head tilts again, wrong angle, too slow, like a puppet controlled by someone still learning the strings. The landline in your hand buzzes sharply. Put your back to the payphone, Future, you commands. Now. You do. The woman steps closer. Your heartbeat tries to tunnel out of your chest. What is she? You whisper. She's what happens when you ignore the first call, Future, you replies. She came for me too. That's not encouraging. The woman stops exactly 6 feet from you, too precise, too measured, like she's following rules you don't know. She lifts one hand. Her fingers bend in a way that isn't human. You swallow, trying not to scream. Pick up the payphone, Future, you whispers. You glance at the dangling handset. I said don't touch it yet, Future, you snaps. I wasn't going to, you whisper back. You were absolutely going to. Okay, fair. The woman's head twitches, like she's sniffing the air for the lie. You grip the severed landline tighter. It heats in your palm. She can't cross the shadow line, Future, you says. Check. You look down. A line of sunlight stops just inches from her boots. She stands at the border, unable to step into the darker space beneath the bridge, like the shadow itself is a barrier. Why can't she come in? You whisper. Because this is where I died. You don't breathe for a full second. She killed me, Future, you continue softly. Or tried to, but something else intervened, something worse. The woman's fingers curl, twitching. Now answer me carefully, Future, you says. Has she seen the phone in your hand? Yes. A long, heavy silence. Then, run. You bolt. The landline hums, the payphone rings, and the woman hisses. A sound too sharp, too jagged to be made by a living throat. You sprint deeper under the bridge as Future. You shouts. Don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. Your footsteps slam against the concrete, each one echoing too loudly beneath the bridge, too sharply, as if the sound itself is trying to outrun something. The air shifts, colder, denser, almost metallic, as if the space you've entered has forgotten how to behave like ordinary Earth. You don't look back. You're not brave enough for that, and Future, whose panicked tone still rings in your ear. Don't stop. You grip the severed landline tighter as you run, its warmth now so intense it's almost uncomfortable. The static in the receiver crackles urgently, like a heartbeat stuttering through wires older than time. The river's smell, muddy, damp, faintly chemical, mixes with the drumming of your pulse. Up ahead, the underpass opens slightly, allowing a shaft of pale daylight through. Safety, or at least less likely to die instantly. You'll take it. Behind you, the woman in the brown coat emits a sound. Low, vibrating, like feedback from an ancient speaker turned up too high. The noise crawls up your spine, prickling the hairs on your arms. She can't cross the shadow line, but she can do whatever that is, and you do not want to learn what comes after. You burst through the narrow patch of light, breathing hard. The air warms immediately, the trapped humidity of the riverside returning. You don't slow down. You maintain that panicked middle school gym class jog, fueled by survival and absolutely zero athleticism. Left, Future, you gasps through the landline. Left now. You obey instinctively, veering toward the sloping path that leads to a cluster of rusted picnic tables. The river ripples beside you, its surface shimmering with reflected sunlight. Normal, unremarkable, blessedly mundane. Then the payphone rings again. You skid to a stop. There's another one. Right next to the picnic tables, standing half in shadow, half in sun. The metal frame is rusted, graffiti-covered, definitely not newly installed like the first one. This one looks like it's been here longer than the bridge itself. A fossil with buttons. But it rings. And only you seem to hear it. Don't answer, Future, you warns. Not yet, you're not aligned. Aligned with what? You hiss. You'll know when you're supposed to know. You resist the urge to throw the landline into the river out of frustration. It wouldn't help. Nothing about today fits into any category your brain knows how to process. You back away from the ringing payphone. The ringing stops instantly. You freeze. Then another sound emerges, soft, almost delicate, the faint squeak of a boot sole on concrete behind the shadow line under the bridge. She's still there, waiting, watching. You turn slightly, enough to see the darkness beneath the bridge, but not enough to draw her forward. She remains still, a statue carved from human intentions with all the softness scraped away. But there's something new now. Her head is tilted farther than before, too far, strained like the hinge of her neck is about to snap. She's testing limits. Testing the shadow line. Don't engage her, Future, you murmurs. Just keep walking and listen. You start walking again, slower but purposeful, heading toward the riverside path that curls behind an abandoned brick pump station. Your shoes crunch on gravel, and the landline warms again, humming faintly. Okay, you breathe. Talk, I'm listening, preferably to something that makes sense. The sigh from your future self is a weary, cracked thing, a sigh that carries 10 years of mistakes. The timeline fractures in little ways first, small anomalies, harmless at least at the start. Payphones popping up like daisies doesn't feel harmless. It's not, but it's also not the worst thing you'll see. You groan. Fantastic. I always wanted a cryptic survival quest with terrible customer service. You'll manage, the voice says, a flicker of warmth there, almost fond. You're stubborn. It's your best quality and your dumbest. You roll your eyes, which is weirdly comforting, because even in a crisis, you're apparently committed to self-roasting. Future, you continues quieter now. I need you to understand something. These calls, they aren't random. They're echoes of choices. Conversations looping through collapsing time. If you ignore them, you become like her. You stop. Like the woman in the coat, you whisper. Yes. A chill moves through your ribs, not the sharp fear from earlier, but a slower, sinking dread. What happened to her? Future You's voice breaks slightly. She didn't pick up her first call. The weight of that settles heavily on your shoulders. So, you say, answering my own phone keeps me human. For now. Excellent. You've always wanted your humanity to be on a day-to-day subscription plan. You reach the pump station, its windows boarded, its brickwork stained with decades of weather. Graffiti curls around the door, names, dates, symbols you don't recognize. But one thing stands out, a painted mural of an old rotary phone, handset off the hook, painted in startlingly accurate detail. The receiver hangs, just like the one you're holding. A date is scrawled under it. 2037. You take a step back. Why is that here? You demand. Future You hesitates, and that hesitation is a warning in itself. Because this place is a convergence point. Someone else has been here. Someone who tried to warn you before I did. You blink. Wait, there are more versions of me calling. Not anymore. That is not the answer you wanted. Before you can ask, another sound echoes down the path. You freeze instantly, every nerve going taut. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Rhythmic. Not hers. Someone else. You glance toward the bridge. She's still there. This new sound is coming from the opposite direction, the part of the riverside trail where the trees thicken and the old bike path disappears into shade. Future You whispers sharply, hide now. You duck behind the pump station, just as a tall figure emerges from the bend in the path. A man, but not an ordinary one. He's wearing an old-fashioned janitor's uniform, faded navy blue, name patch torn off, boots coated in dried river mud. He walks with a stiff gait, like his joints remember movements his body forgot. He holds something in his hand, something long, metallic, glinting in the sunlight. A payphone receiver, not attached to anything. You slap a hand over your mouth, breath shallow. Future You's voice drops to a whisper barely audible over the static. Don't let him hear you. He doesn't track people. He tracks frequencies. You stare at the severed landline in your hand, horrified. Then why am I holding this? You hiss. Because you need it more than he needs you. You resist the urge to smack the phone against the brick wall. This is beyond stressful. This is the kind of stressful where your brain starts writing a will purely out of spite. The janitor-like figure stops right in front of the pump station. He tilts his head, not as unnaturally as the woman in the coat, but wrong, like a puppet with strings pulled too tight. He lifts the receiver in his hand and presses it against his ear. Static hisses loudly, filling the air. Your landline hums in response. You clamp down, holding it tight to your chest, trying to muffle the vibration. But the janitor pauses. He turns toward your hiding spot. Slowly, methodically. His boots crunch the gravel. Closer. Closer. Future, you whisper so faintly you barely register the words. Don't move, don't breathe. He detects motion through disrupted timelines. Just stay still. Which is ironic, because everything inside you wants to sprint into oblivion. The man stops inches from the corner of the pump station. You see his shadow first, long, distorted, stretching across the dirt like something reaching for your ankles. The receiver in his hand crackles with a burst of sharp static. He tilts his head again. Then he speaks. A low, flat voice, as if coming from a mouth that forgot what emotion is. I know you're here. Your blood turns to ice. Future You's whisper shakes. He shouldn't be able to talk. Something's wrong. Something has changed. The janitor steps closer. Come out, he murmurs. I have a message for you. The static in your landline flares, burning hot in your palm. Future You snarls, voice breaking in your ear. Run. You explode from your hiding place, sprinting back toward the river, away from the janitor, away from the pump station mural, away from the shadow woman still waiting beneath the bridge. Your lungs burn, your legs scream, your thoughts fracture. Behind you, the janitor's footsteps thunder after you. He's fast. Far too fast. The receiver in his hand emits a shrill, piercing tone that rattles through your skull. Your landline screams back. You stumble, but don't stop. Ahead, something flickers in the corner of your vision, a bright object on the ground, half covered in leaves. Another phone. Not a payphone. Not a landline. A smartphone. Your smartphone. The one you're still holding. Except you're also seeing it lying on the ground. You don't question it. You don't grab it. You run past it. Because behind you, the janitor bellows in a voice that isn't fully human. Answer the call. Your landline vibrates violently. And then, your smartphone rings. The screen flashes a single word. Run. You stay frozen, the phone still warm in your hand, the darkness of your room suddenly feeling too thick, as if something unseen is standing just outside your field of view. You swallow hard, trying to steady your breathing, telling yourself it's only exhaustion playing tricks on you. But then, almost too faint to catch, the air shifts, a soft rustle, as though someone turned their head toward you in the dark. The room holds its breath. You feel the subtle pressure of being watched, not with eyes, but with time itself leaning in. And just when your pulse finally begins to slow, when you convince yourself the call was a glitch, maybe a prank, your phone lights up again. Same number, same timestamp, 000000. Only this time the ringing doesn't sound like a normal ringtone. Each chime echoes through the room a half-second delayed, warped, distorted, as if played backwards through an old tape recorder. Your thumb trembles above the answer button. Deep inside, something cold whispers that once you pick up, nothing in your life will remain the same. You answer the call with a shaky breath, expecting the same distorted silence. But instead, there's a rush of static, then a voice, your voice, coming through clearer than before. You don't have much time, future, you whispers, urgency woven into every word. It's already started. The moment you picked up the first call, the timeline attached itself to you. You don't understand, but before you can speak, you hear banging in the background on their side. Violent, frantic, growing closer. Future, you gasps. Listen carefully. Something crossed over. Something that shouldn't exist in any version of us. Then the line warps, as if swallowed by something huge and hungry. The call ends with a sharp click, leaving you in a silence so thick it presses against your ears. You stare at the phone, your reflection faint in the black screen, your own eyes wide, unsure, shaken. Something crossed over. The words loop in your mind like a warning you can't shut off. You step back from the window, suddenly aware of the world outside. Still, too still, as if your neighborhood is holding its breath alongside you. Then your phone buzzes again, but this time it's not a call, it's a notification. A photo sent from your own number. It's a picture of your bedroom, taken from just behind where you're standing now. The timestamp reads, tomorrow 00:17 a.m. Your breath snags in your throat as you slowly turn around. Nothing. Just your room, dim and ordinary, the same stack of clothes on the chair, the same soft hum of your bedside lamp. No lurking shadow, no camera flash residue burning in the air. And yet that photo exists, and it shouldn't. You edge a hand across your desk, fingers trembling as they find the light switch, and with a hesitant click you flood the room with warm brightness. The corners soften. The sense of being watched loosens just a little. But the timestamp won't leave your mind. Tomorrow. You glance at your clock, 11:41 p.m. Tomorrow is less than 40 minutes away. You start checking behind things, behind the curtains, under the bed, in the closet. Not because you think you'll find someone crouched there with your phone in their hand, but because not checking feels worse. The closet yawns open, empty except for your old coat and those boots you never wear. You lean in, running your fingers along the back wall, as if a hidden camera might poke your fingertip like a guilty straw. Nothing. You retreat, exhaling shakily. Okay, you whisper aloud, trying to anchor yourself with your own voice. This is fine. This is totally fine. It isn't, but the lie is warm, and right now warmth is all you've got. Your phone buzzes again. This time it's a voicemail, no caller ID, no transcription, just the grey icon pulsing like a tiny heartbeat. Your stomach tightens as you tap it, lifting the phone to your ear. At first, it's silence, thin, metallic, like air trapped in a vent. Then you hear breathing, soft, close, too close, followed by your own voice whispering, "Don't open the door tonight." You freeze, every hair on your arms rising in perfect formation. The message ends abruptly, but the shape of that warning lingers in the air, settling on your shoulders like an icy shawl. You drop the phone onto the bed, backing away from it as though it might leap at you. Your voice, but not you, not any version of you that should exist right now. You pace, you mutter to yourself. You rub your hands down your face and try to shake off the crawling panic. A joke floats into your mind, weak but automatic. You've officially become your own creepy future stalker. Congrats, you're really leveling up tonight, and the absurdity calms you a notch. Just a notch. The warning, "Don't open the door tonight." Why? What door? You look toward the hallway, then to the front of your apartment. The deadbolt gleams faintly like an unblinking eye. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's everything. All you know is that someone or something from tomorrow has gone out of its way to stop you from making a mistake. You sit on the edge of your bed, elbows on your knees, listening to the quiet. It's too quiet. Even the usual late-night traffic outside is missing, as though the whole world took a night off without telling you. Then, a single knock. Soft, deliberate. At your front door. The knock is so gentle, you almost convince yourself you imagined it. Just the house settling, or a branch brushing the siding, or your nerves inventing sound, because silence has become unbearable. But then it comes again. One slow knock. Not impatient, not confused. Almost expectant. You rise from the bed as if pulled by a string. Your legs feel syrup-heavy, your breath trapped somewhere behind your ribs. The air in your apartment shifts, the way it does during storms, when pressure drops and something electric moves through the walls. You step into the hallway, and every footfall sounds too loud. You try to steady your breathing, try to keep it quiet, because part of you is utterly certain that whoever, whatever, is on the other side of the door is listening. Your phone sits abandoned on your bed, but the warning rings through your memory as clearly as if you were still pressing the phone to your ear. Don't open the door tonight. You approach anyway. Because humans are curious, stubborn creatures who always assume the rules apply to other people. Also because you're 60% sure you'd rather confront the unknown than creep yourself out imagining it forever. You pass the coat rack, the little table with your keys, the framed photo of friends smiling in perfect daylight, blissfully unaware that the future is currently prank calling you. When you reach the door, you stop. Your hand hovers over the deadbolt, but you don't touch it. You lean in, ear almost against the wood. For a moment, there's nothing, no breathing, no shuffling, no whispered hello from an overly confident serial killer. Then a voice. A low murmur you can't quite make out, not talking to you, but about you, as if someone is standing inches away, speaking into a bad connection. You step back, because a normal person would, but the voice follows, faintly threading itself beneath the wood grain. And then you hear your name, whispered the way someone would say it if they were trying to coax you closer, like a parent calling a child out from under a blanket fort. Soft, warm, familiar. Too familiar. You clamp a hand over your mouth. Your heart begins a panicked drum solo you did not approve. You shake your head sharply as if trying to fling the sound off your ears. You pace a tiny circle. You mutter to yourself, "Nope, nope, absolutely not. We're not doing that." Future me said no, and shockingly, I agree. Another knock, this one slightly harder, no longer polite. Your front porch light flickers. The hall light inside your apartment flickers in response, like your electrical system is being breathed on. And then your phone, still on your bed, buzzes loudly enough that it echoes all the way down the hall. You turn. The buzzing goes on, insistent, relentless. Whoever is calling really wants your attention. You hesitate, glancing between the door that feels dangerous and the phone that feels worse. You choose the phone. You hurry back to your bedroom, grab it, and the caller ID chills you to your marrow. Incoming call. From tomorrow 00:17 a.m. The exact timestamp from the photo. You should let it ring. You know you should. Every cell in your body is begging you to let it ring. But your thumb moves on its own. You answer. A burst of static cracks through the speaker, followed by a warped version of your own voice, strained and rushed, like someone speaking while running for their life. For a moment, the words don't make sense, scrambled, distorted, but then they snap into clarity. They know you heard them. Don't go near the door. A violent crash explodes through the call, making you jump. The voice, your voice, sucks in a panicked breath. Then, in a whisper sharpened by terror. They can smell the future on you. The call cuts out. You're left standing in your bedroom, phone in hand, heart plummeting through the floor. Outside in the hallway, the soft tap of a fingernail drags slowly down your front door. Once, twice, 3 times, as if the thing outside is testing the wood or savoring the moment. The scraping stops. Not because whatever waits outside has given up. No, it feels more like it paused to listen. The kind of listening predators do before they pounce. You stand frozen, gripping your phone so tight your fingers ache. Your mind races back to the warning. They can smell the future on you. You don't know what that means. You don't want to know. But you do know one thing. Something on the other side of that door realized you're no longer approaching. It realized the game has changed. A muffled shift of weight. A breath wet too slow, too deliberate. And then the doorknob twitches. Just once. A tiny rotation. Like a polite experiment. Is this locked? Can I come in yet? You stagger backward, one hand pressing to your chest, as if you can physically hold your heart still. Your apartment has never felt smaller. Every shadow seems to lean toward the hallway, like they're waiting to see what you'll do, whether you'll stand here shaking or make the impossible decision to move. Then the knob twitches again. Harder this time. A rattle. You mouth silently, no, 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 because speaking aloud feels like an invitation. Your phone buzzes violently in your hand. You don't want to look. You don't want to know. But you do. Another message, another photo, same sender, tomorrow 00:17 a.m. Your stomach drops clean through the floor. This one shows your front door, from inside your apartment, from the exact angle where you're standing now. And behind the door's frosted glass pane, normally a blur of porch light and shapes, there is a silhouette. Tall, still, a head tilted, and the timestamp. Tomorrow 00:18 a.m. 1 minute later than the previous message. A minute that hasn't happened yet. You stare at the image, a quiet dread settling beneath your skin. The silhouette in the photo leans forward, closer to the glass, just enough that its edges sharpen into something disturbingly human, yet absolutely not human. You can't see features, but you can see intent. Then the knocking returns. Not soft, not patient. A single heavy boom that shakes the frame. Your lights flicker violently, every lamp, every hallway bulb, like the electricity itself is trying to flee. You stumble backward until your knees hit the bed, collapsing onto it as your phone buzzes again, frantic, another incoming call. Same timestamp. Same sender. Your thumb hovers over the answer button, trembling. But you don't press it. Not this time. Instead, the phone answers itself. The line opens with a ragged gasp, your voice again, but shredded, exhausted, scared beyond the kind of fear you know how to name. Then, listen, please don't let it in. It's not knocking because it wants permission. It's knocking because it's learning you. Every sound you make, it remembers. Every breath, every step. Don't. Your voice on the call chokes. A horrible, cut-off sound like the phone was ripped away in mid-sentence. Something drags across the far end of the call, heavy, scraping. And then a whisper leaks through, so faint you almost believe it's your imagination. You open the door in 3 minutes. You drop the phone. Because you know you won't. You know you won't. And yet, the voice didn't sound like a warning. It sounded like a fact. The clock on your dresser shifts its numbers with an almost mocking blink. 12:14 a.m. 3 minutes. Your heart slams against your ribs, your breathing sharp and uneven. You clutch the edge of your bed as if the mattress can anchor you to this moment. The hallway light flickers again. Your doorknob rattles, but this time it doesn't stop. It twists, slow and deliberate, metal groaning under a pressure you can feel from across the room. Your body moves before your mind can decide what to do. You scramble to your feet, backing toward the far wall, eyes locked on your bedroom doorway as the tension in the air coils tighter and tighter. Another boom hits the front door. Another. Then every light in your apartment dies at once. A perfect, smothering darkness swallows everything. The knocking stops, and in the dead quiet afterward, you hear footsteps inside your apartment. You don't breathe, you can't. The darkness is thick, velvety, absolute, so complete it feels like the walls have dissolved, like you're suspended in some endless void where sound travels wrong and time stutters sideways. But the footsteps, those are unmistakably real, slow, unhurried, as if the thing wandering your apartment isn't searching, it's remembering. You press yourself back against the wall, fingers splayed wide, trying to convince your brain you still exist in one piece. Your heartbeat is a frantic metronome, way too loud, practically screaming your location. You silently, desperately beg your body to quiet down, like you're arguing with a toddler in a library. The footsteps pause. Your breath catches in your throat like a knot. They're close. Too close. Not in the hallway anymore, inside. Moving with a strange, gliding cadence, like a tall person trying not to brush the ceiling. It's a rhythm you've never heard from human feet. There's a faint scrape between each step, a soft drag, as though something on its body sways and grazes the floor behind it. Something heavy, something deliberate. You slide sideways, inch by inch, patting the wall for the corner of your dresser or the edge of your nightstand. Anything you can use to orient yourself in the dark. Your fingers brush fabric. A sleeve. No, your hoodie hanging from a hook. You almost laugh from pure nerves, because of course the first thing you grab in the presence of a supernatural intruder is laundry. Perfect. You clutch the hoodie anyway. Cloth is comforting. Cloth is familiar. Cloth will definitely not save you, but hey, emotional support sweater. The footsteps start again. Not toward your door. Not toward the hall. Toward you. You feel it before you hear it. A pressure, subtle but undeniable, pushing against the air. Like someone exhaling slowly as they walk closer, their breath dragging warmth out of the room with every step. The temperature drops so fast you feel the cold kiss your skin in a sweeping wave. Your fingers numb. Your jaw clenches instinctively as if bracing for winter. Then, a faint glow blooms in the darkness. Not bright. Not warm. Just a thin, sickly smear of pale blue light seeping from the hallway, uncertain, flickering, like a malfunctioning street lamp outside a motel from a true crime documentary. But it's enough. Enough to outline your doorway. Enough to show the corner of your dresser. Enough to reveal a shadow. Tall. Wrong. Tilted like a question mark, molded into a human shape. It stands just beyond the threshold of your bedroom, its outline wavering like it's made of static instead of flesh. Not fully inside, not fully out, like it's testing the doorway the way a cold fingertip tests bath water. You flatten yourself against the wall, trying desperately not to whimper. Your phone is somewhere on the floor, lost in the blur of panic and darkness. If you could reach it, if you could grab it, you might be able to call the future again, get another warning, a lifeline, a clue, anything. But moving feels impossible. Your legs are locked in place, glued to the moment. The shadow tilts its head. Slowly, curiously, as if it hears you thinking. Then, with a soft, almost playful scrape, it steps fully into your bedroom. The blue glow sputters and extinguishes, plunging you back into darkness thick enough to choke. You feel movement, air shifting, cold radiating, your instincts screaming that it's only a few feet away now. And then you hear it for the first time. A voice. Not a whisper. Not a growl. A perfect imitation of your own voice saying, I told you, open the door. Your knees buckle. But before you can collapse, before you can react at all, your phone lights up on the floor, casting a thin, desperate beam across your feet. A new message. Another photo. Sent from tomorrow 00:21 a.m. You bend down, shaking, terrified, compelled, and lift the phone just enough to see the image. It's you, standing exactly where you're standing now. But behind you, looming in the photo, is the silhouette. Only this time, it's smiling. You drop the phone. Not intentionally. Your fingers simply forget how to function. The device hits the floor with a soft thud and skitters just far enough that the glow slips out of reach. The room plunges back into darkness, and for a heartbeat you swear you can feel the smile from that photo lingering in the air behind you, like heat from a fire long after the flames are gone. Only this isn't warm. This is cold. A cold so sharp it feels alive. You try to tell yourself not to turn around. You try to tell yourself the photo might be wrong or stupid or some kind of cosmic prank played by the universe to spice up your evening. But instinct, the bone-deep, ancient part of your brain that still remembers predators in tall grass, whispers a single command. Don't move. You obey. You stand locked in place, breath shaking out in thin, uneven threads. The darkness shifts behind you, not visually, but texturally, like someone trailing their fingers through heavy curtains. You can feel the movement. You can feel the air recoiling from whatever occupies the space just inches from your back. Then something even worse. A soft inhale. Not yours. The thing is smelling you. Your mind races back to the warning from the future call. They can smell the future on you. At the time, it sounded ridiculous, like something out of a late-night sci-fi marathon. Now it feels horrifyingly literal. Whatever stands behind you is breathing you in the way someone might inhale the scent of a meal they've waited a long, long time to taste. Another inhale. Closer. Hungrier. You squeeze your eyes shut, wishing your entire body would merge with the wall. Wishing this night had never started. Wishing you could go back to an hour ago when your only problem was a weird phone call. Remember that. Cute times. Innocent times. You didn't realize you were in the tutorial level of a cosmic horror game. The creature shifts again, and a cold fingertip, light as cobweb, traces a line from your shoulder blade to the center of your spine. Your body locks up so violently it aches. It's not a touch of curiosity. It's a touch of recognition. As if it knows you. As if it has touched you before. As if, in some future you haven't reached yet, you already belong to it. You swallow down a cry. Every survival instinct you own screams at you not to make a sound. Then, in the darkness, your own voice speaks again, but this time it whispers right beside your ear. Turn around. The words slither across your skin, too warm, too real. You choke on a breath, shaking your head even though the creature can't see it, or maybe it can. You don't know the rules anymore. All you know is that your future self said not to open the door, not to approach, not to let it in. But you never got instructions on what to do once it was inside. You stay still. Seconds stretch like melting wax. The creature waits. You wait. Then, Your phone buzzes again. A sharp, sudden vibration on the floor that jolts your nerves like electric wire. The creature reacts instantly. The air behind you contracts. The cold deepens. Its attention snaps downward toward the sound, the way a wild animal snaps toward prey rustling in leaves. You seize the moment. You drop to the floor, not gracefully, not quietly, more like a panic-induced collapse, and your hand closes around the phone. You yank it close to your chest and roll away just as a freezing ripple sweeps through the space where you had been standing. You don't look back. You scramble across the floor, half crawling, half sliding, until your back thuds against the opposite wall. Your thumb slams onto the notification. Another photo. Another timestamp. Tomorrow, 00:23 a.m. 2 minutes from now. The image shows your bedroom, empty. No creature. No shadow. Just your room, peaceful and mundane. But in the photo, on the wall behind where you should be standing, you see new writing. Thin, jagged, carved into the paint. Don't look at it. A beat later, a second line appears beneath the first, forming itself slowly in the photo, as if being carved right now in real time. And don't let it know you know. Your blood chills. Because at this exact moment, in the real room, you hear the scratch of something carving into the wall, right behind the creature. Slow, deliberate, meaningful. Your heart hammers. Your phone vibrates again, a new message bubble popping into existence. Stay still. It can't see you if you don't react. You freeze. Not because you believe it fully, but because you have no other option. The creature's presence swells across the room like a tide. You hear it shift, glide, inhale. You hear its skin brush the air like something made of threads and static. You feel it lean toward you, so close its cold almost burns. You don't blink. You don't breathe. You don't move a single trembling muscle. And for a moment, just a moment, the creature hesitates, as if uncertain, as if sensing something is wrong. Then, it opens its mouth. You don't see it. You feel it. Cold spills across the room like a sigh from a winter grave. The darkness deepens. The air vibrates with something ancient and hungry. And then, from the center of that impossible mouth, the creature speaks again. But this time, it doesn't use your voice. It uses a voice you've never heard before. A voice that sounds like static being crushed underwater. A voice that says, "I know what you know." The room tightens around you. Not literally. Your walls don't fold inward like the start of a haunted hydraulic press, but the air contracts, compressing your lungs, your ribs, your thoughts. That voice, that static, drowned, waterlogged voice that doesn't belong in any world you've ever lived in. It isn't just sound. It's pressure. It's intent. It rolls over you in a deep, invisible wave, flattening every instinct you have except one. Survive. You don't respond. You don't flinch. You don't even swallow. Because the message on your phone repeats in your mind like a desperate mantra. Don't let it know you know. And now that it's said, I know what you know, you're not sure if the game is over or if it's just beginning. A low vibration hums through the floorboards, traveling up your spine. The creature shifts, and the room temperature drops sharply again. So fast frost forms in the air like tiny drifting stars. Your breath fogs, then stops fogging because you stop breathing. The creature leans closer. You feel its shape bending over you, eclipsing the room like a living solar event. Something brushes your shoulder, not a hand, not a finger, something like strands, heavy strands, threaded with static, cold enough to burn. You keep your eyes fixed on the floor. If you look, if you acknowledge, if you give it any sign that you understand what it said, you don't want to think about what will happen next. The creature inhales again, longer this time, dragging the air past your skin as if sampling every ounce of fear leaking out of you. Your teeth chatter silently. You clench your jaw to stop it, but the tension nearly makes your eyes water. You're terrified the smallest sound, even a single click of enamel, will give you away. A soft creak shivers through the room. Not from the creature. From your phone. Another message slides onto the screen, and you can see the faint glow splashing across your calf. Your breath nearly escapes you. You force it to stay in your lungs until they ache. The creature's head twists sharply toward the glow on the floor. Your pulse stops. The glow fades. The phone locks. The room returns to pitch black silence. The creature waits. So do you. Seconds drip by. You count them because your mind has nothing else to hold onto. 1, 2, 3, 4. It moves. Not away. Not toward. Around. It glides along the wall, tracing the perimeter of the room in slow, patient circles. You hear its limbs, or parts, or projections, or whatever anatomy it possesses, drag lightly along the paint with that soft, static scrape. Every pass gets closer to where you sit curled against the opposite wall. The scraping stops. Your throat tightens. You feel the creature kneel. The cold deepens until your bones ache, until your eyelashes frost together, until your fingertips go numb around the edges. Then, faintly, horrifyingly, you feel breath ghost across the back of your neck. It's reading you, studying you, trying to decide what you are. Your mind flashes back to the earlier warning. Every sound you make, it remembers. What happens when it remembers too much? When it fully maps you? When it knows your shape, your voice, your thoughts? Your phone buzzes again. This time, the vibration is impossibly loud. The creature stiffens. You clamp both hands over your mouth to smother the sound rising in your throat. The phone lights up. The glow reflects off something behind you, something tall and shifting. And you finally see an outline of its face in the faint light. No eyes, just hollows. Hollows filled with swirling, living static. A mouth that isn't a mouth, more like a split in reality itself, stitched wrong. You don't react. You don't blink. You remain an unmoving, terrified statue. The creature leans in until its non-mouth is inches from your ear. The static inside it roars softly, like a distant radio caught between stations. A smell hits you: cold metal, wet earth, old wires. Ancient. Wrong. Then, the creature speaks again. And this time, it uses your future voice. Soft. Tired. Broken. Stop resisting. A tear escapes your eye. You don't wipe it. You don't move. You don't exist except as stillness. The creature studies your profile. Snowflake-fine frost settles on your hair, your eyelashes, your shoulders. The static in its head swirls faster. Its hollow face tilts as if considering whether you obeyed. For a moment, a terrible, impossible moment, you think it's satisfied. Then your phone buzzes again. The creature snaps toward the sound so fast the air distorts. Your phone's screen lights up one more time, and a bold notification appears, bright enough to illuminate half the room. Urgent message, open now. From tomorrow 00:24 a.m. Your stomach plunges, because the timestamp isn't 2 minutes from now. It's not 1 minute from now. It's the exact minute you're currently living. The future isn't warning you anymore. The future is reacting. Your heart pounds so loudly, you fear the creature can hear it. The creature hovers over the phone, watching the screen, waiting. The phone buzzes again. The message auto-opens. A single line fills the screen. Run now. The creature slowly turns its head back toward you. And this time, the static in its hollows flares bright white. You don't breathe, you don't move. The woman's voice drifts closer, the slow drag of her feet whispering across the attic floorboards, except the attic is empty. You already checked. No furniture, no boxes, nowhere for anyone to hide. And yet she moves with absolute confidence, as if she knows exactly where you are. Then she stops, right above you. The beam overhead creaks like someone is shifting their weight onto it, leaning down, listening. Your lungs clench tight as you press yourself silently against the wall. A long moment stretches, suspended and fragile, until her voice drops into a hush so low you barely hear it through the vents. I found you. The words slither through the vent, too close, too certain. A cold ripple crawls down your spine as dust drifts from the ceiling, like something is brushing against the boards from above. You clamp a hand over your mouth to choke back the gasp rising in your throat. Then tap, tap, tap. 3 slow knocks from the attic floor, directly matching the rhythm of your heartbeat. Your phone vibrates violently in your hand, screen lighting your face with a pale glow. A new message. You don't want to look. Every instinct tells you not to. But your thumb moves anyway, dragged by dread. It's a voice memo. Only 1 second long. You press play. Your own voice whispers back at you. Don't hide. The sound of your own voice, thin, breathless, warning you, makes your stomach twist. You stare at the phone as if it might bite you, the screen dimming like it's trying to hide what it just showed. The attic above goes silent again, but it's not a comforting silence. It's the kind that feels aware, the kind that listens back. You edge away from the vent, each step slow, careful, as though the floor itself might betray you. Your house suddenly feels too big, too empty, every shadow stretched long as if something is leaning out from inside them. You keep checking the ceiling, expecting the woman's voice to seep through again, but nothing comes. Instead, your phone buzzes. A new notification. Not a message this time. A calendar alert, created automatically. It reads, "Hide and seek, round 2 begins soon." And beneath it, the countdown ticks. 000427. The countdown ticks louder in your mind than any alarm could. 4 minutes. A game you never agreed to play, scheduled by something that shouldn't even know how to use your phone. You swipe the screen off, but the numbers keep glowing faintly, bleeding through the dark like they've burned into your vision. You back into the hallway, every light switched on as you pass, desperate to carve away the shadows clinging to the corners. But the brightness doesn't comfort you. It only reveals how empty the house truly is. No movement, no breath, no sign of anyone. Yet you feel watched. Not from above now, but from everywhere. Your ears pick up something faint, a soft shuffle like footsteps underwater, echoing from the far end of the hall. You freeze. The air grows heavier, colder, brushing against your skin like fingers tracing your arms. Your phone vibrates again. You force yourself to look. A new text message. Ready or not? The typing bubble appears. Someone, something, is still writing. The typing bubble pulses, fading in, fading out, like a heartbeat that doesn't belong to you. Each rise of the 3 dots tightens something in your chest, and each disappearance feels like the breath you've been trying not to take. Finally, the message arrives. Just 2 words. Too calm. Too certain. Here I come. You don't even realize you've stepped backward until your heel knocks against the wall. The hallway lights flicker, not fully turning off, just shuddering, like they're bracing for something. The air grows dense, as if the house itself is holding its breath with you. Your phone screen goes black. Not locked. Not dead. Just black. A reflection stares back at you, your own face stretched with fear, hallway lights trembling behind you, until something shifts in the reflection that isn't you. A second silhouette. Faint. Standing farther down the hallway. Still. Watching. You whirl around, but the space is empty, bright, silent, untouched. You look back at the screen. The silhouette is closer. Your pulse spikes. You lower the phone. No one there. Raise the phone again. The shape is now right behind your reflection, close enough that you feel, impossibly, the warmth of breath at the nape of your neck. Your whole body tenses. You spin so fast, you nearly slip. Nothing. Not a whisper of movement. But the reflection on your phone. It now shows a hand, long, thin, reaching from above, poised inches from your shoulder. You drop the phone. Not dramatically, your fingers just stop holding on, as if your body is done pretending it can handle whatever is standing behind your reflection. The device hits the carpet with a soft thud, face down, screen still glowing faintly against the fibers. For a moment you stand frozen, waiting for the cold brush of a fingertip on your shoulder, waiting for breath that isn't yours to graze your neck. But nothing touches you. Nothing moves. The silence presses in like padded walls. You crouch slowly, trembling, and flip the phone over with just your fingertips. The screen is still on, but the reflection is gone. No silhouette. No hand. Just your exhausted face, washed in the sickly glow of the hallway lights. You exhale shakily. 1 second. 2. The smallest flicker of relief begins to form. Right before the phone vibrates again. A call. Unknown number. But you already know who it is. The ringtone warps and stretches, like it's being played underwater. Every instinct screams don't answer, but your thumb disobeys, sliding across the screen as if pulled by invisible strings. You lift the phone to your ear. Nothing at first. No breathing. No static. Just emptiness, cold, vast, swallowing. Then a faint whisper, so soft it sounds like it's brushing along the inside of your skull rather than coming through the speaker. Turn around. Your spine locks. Every muscle turns to stone. You don't want to. You shouldn't. But your body begins to turn anyway, slow and mechanical, like something unseen has slipped its hand into the back of your mind and is steering. The lights behind you flicker. A shadow stretches across the wall ahead, longer, sharper, reaching toward you as you pivot. And just before your eyes land on whatever is there, the whisper on the phone returns, even softer, almost tender. I've been waiting a very long time. You're still turning. Still caught in that slow, reluctant swivel toward whatever has been calling you through wires, through time, through every impossible reflection. The attic boards groan above you. The vents breathe. The shadows bend in ways shadows shouldn't bend. And there, just as your chin crosses your shoulder, you feel the temperature drop. Not a gentle coolness. A sudden, absolute absence of warmth, as though the air behind you has been scooped out and replaced with something older than cold, something that doesn't remember the concept of heat at all. Your throat tightens. Your pulse stumbles. Your vision wavers. Because now you see it. Not a figure. Not a ghost. Not a body standing behind you. But an outline pressed into reality like fingerprints in soft clay. A tall distortion where the hallway should be straight. The faint shimmer of a presence trying to be visible, like a nearly erased drawing still lingering beneath fresh paper. It leans toward you. And the voice, the same one from the phone, from the attic, from the future, drips into your ear again. Every call you ignored, every warning brought you here. Your hand tightens around the railing, as your knees weaken. You want to look away, but your gaze stays locked on that flickering silhouette, its shape pulsing like a heartbeat out of sync with the world. You open the line, it whispers. And now you keep it open. The walls tremble. Your phone vibrates again, but this time you don't have to look at it to know the caller ID. It vibrates in a steady rhythm, matching the pulse of the shadow. 1 ring. 2. 3. The outline presses closer, thinning and stretching, like it's trying to slip into your space. The lights sputter, dimming to a weak amber glow. You raise the phone. Your hand is shaking so badly, the screen blurs. But you see it. Incoming call. You tomorrow, 2:11 a.m. Your breath stops. It rings again. The attic creaks above you, answering in perfect time. The outline leans closer, its shape sharpening at the edges. You slide your thumb across the screen. This time you don't hear a whisper or static or the scraping of something crawling through the signal. You hear your own voice. Older. Hoarse. Strained in a way you can feel in your bones. Don't let it finish. Whatever you do, don't let it finish. The outline twitches, like it heard that warning too. Your future voice grows frantic. It's copying you. The call cuts abruptly. Silence slams down. The outline shivers, expands, and begins forming a face. Not its own face. Your face. A perfect, hollow mimicry of your expression. Eyes empty, smile too wide, too knowing. It steps forward. And you, paralyzed between dread and inevitability, can't move as it leans down and breathes in your exact voice. Thanks for picking up. The lights explode into darkness. And Section 3 ends in that utter, breathless black. When the lights return, it's not your room anymore. The air feels wrong, thick, buzzing, almost liquid, and the shadows are sharper than they were before, slicing across walls at angles that shouldn't exist. Your phone lies on the floor a few feet away, screen cracked but still glowing faintly with a timestamp you can't comprehend. Tomorrow, 00:25 a.m. Your legs feel like they're filled with lead as you push yourself upright. Every step toward the phone is deliberate, careful, as though moving too quickly would tear the fragile air around you. The hallway stretches longer than it should, bending in ways that make your stomach lurch. Doors that were down the hall moments ago are gone. Others appear where none existed. You pick up the phone. The screen flickers to life. Another message. You can't hide, but you can run. The words are typed in real time. There's no sender listed, just the timestamp ticking closer to 00:26 a.m. You glance up, heart hammering. The room feels alive. Something unseen drifts in the corners of your vision. Every shadow, every flicker of light seems poised to move the instant you look away. Your phone vibrates again, this time an incoming call. You hesitate. Your thumb hovers over the screen. The ringing is distorted, a warped version of your ringtone stretching notes unnaturally, like someone is bending reality through sound. Finally, you answer. A whisper, so close it seems to slide into your ear from inside your own skull. Run before it learns how to follow. A shiver of instinct runs through you. Your feet move without waiting for your mind to catch up. You stumble into the hallway, phone clutched like a lifeline, every step a cautious leap into an impossible maze. The lights flicker violently, and the shadows seem to reach, stretching toward you from every angle. Something glides along the wall, a hint of movement, faster than your eyes can track. You realize with a sinking heart, it's here. And it knows exactly where you are. You run. Not because you think you'll escape. Some part of you already understands escape stopped being an option the moment the future version of you made that first impossible call. But because running is the only thing your body can do when the air behind you bends like something enormous is inhaling. The hallway stretches unnaturally with each step, warping like a funhouse corridor caught in a nightmare. Your feet thud against the floor, but the sound is muffled, as though the world has thickened into something that swallows noise. The walls pulse. The lights flicker so fast the world stutters frame by frame. Your phone buzzes violently in your hand. You almost don't look. Almost. But whatever survival instinct you've got left forces your eyes down. A new message is already waiting. It learns fast. The typing bubble appears, disappears, appears again. Faster when you run. You choke on a breath and skid around a corner that didn't exist before. Because this house, this corridor, this time is no longer behaving by any laws you've ever lived under. Every doorway looks wrong, too tall, too narrow, too slanted, like they've been imagined by someone who has seen houses only in fragmented memories. Behind you, something moves. Not footsteps. Not breathing. Something quieter. A soft, crisp ticking, like the sound an analog clock makes when you hold it to your ear. Tick. 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 Except it's getting faster. Tick, 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 tick. Your phone vibrates again. You swipe it up mid-sprint. An incoming call. Caller ID. U00, 27 a.m. tomorrow. Your lungs seize. You answer without slowing, your voice trembling. Hello. Your future self sounds wrong, breathless, panicked, and faintly static, as though speaking through frayed wires. Don't look back, your future voice hisses. Don't, no matter what you hear, don't. A scream cuts through the line. Your scream. Not from the phone. From right behind you. Your legs nearly buckle. You don't turn. You can't. If you do, you're certain something irreversible will happen. The ticking behind you accelerates. Tick, 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 tick. Your future voice returns, broken, desperate. It's copying everything. Your steps, your voice, your choices, if it finishes learning you. Static swallows the rest. The line goes dead. You crash through another doorway, slamming it behind you. The room you've entered is dim, cramped, the air thick with dust and the faint smell of old wood. A closet, a crawl space. Time feels thin here, stretched. The ticking stops. For the first time in what feels like hours, there is silence. Your chest heaves. Sweat drips down your spine. Your hand shakes violently around the phone. Then, light flares on the screen. A single new message, appearing one letter at a time, slow and deliberate. I finished. Your breath catches. The room darkens. Not because the lights fade, but because something is blocking them. You realize, too late, that you're not alone in the cramped space. Something stands inches behind you, close enough that you feel the faint warmth of breath on your neck. Close enough that your skin prickles where its gaze touches you. And when it speaks, it uses your voice, perfectly smooth now, no static, no distortion. Turn around. The door creaks shut on its own. The last sliver of outside light vanishes. Darkness swallows you whole. The darkness isn't empty. It breathes. Not in a loud, dramatic horror movie gasp, but in a slow, deliberate inhale that moves the air across your skin, as though the thing behind you is tasting the shape of your fear. You don't turn. You can't. Your muscles lock the way a dream sometimes traps you, suspended between fight and freeze. Your heartbeat booms in your ears, painfully loud, almost enough to drown out the soft whisper of that second breath sliding down the back of your neck. Then it speaks again, in your voice. Funny, it murmurs, perfectly mimicking your cadence. I always wondered what you sounded like when you were terrified. Your throat closes. Your mind stumbles over itself. Because the voice isn't just imitating you. It's improving you. Crisper, smoother, like someone tuned your vocal cords to a version of you that never quite existed. Your fingers tighten around the phone. The cracked screen pulses softly. A glow, gentle but impossible to ignore. You angle it slightly, just enough to catch the faintest reflection. And there, behind your shoulder, a face stares back at you. Your face, but wrong. Eyes too steady. Smile too calm. A familiarity sharpened into something cold and predatory, like your own reflection has decided it no longer needs a mirror to stand beside you. The reflection tilts its head. You feel something warm brush your shoulder as the real thing mimics the gesture in perfect sync. You whisper, voice barely audible. Why me? Your reflection answers before the real thing moves, lips curling with a quiet, eerie amusement. Because you answered, it whispers. Because you always answer. Your breath shudders. Then, in the dark, the creature, your double, lifts a hand. You don't see it, but you feel it. A fingertip, identical to your own, presses the back of your neck. Soft, claiming, certain. The phone screen lights up again with a new message. Your call is now complete. A low rumble vibrates through the floorboards, as if the house has exhaled in resignation. Your double leans close, cheek almost brushing yours, and whispers, "Time to switch places." Something icy closes around your wrist. A grip you recognize because it is your grip. The world tilts. Your stomach drops. Your vision flickers with static, white and sharp. And then, soundlessly, the darkness pulls you backward. You fall through it like a trapdoor opening beneath reality. The last thing you hear before the world erases itself is your own voice. Not the creature's imitation, but your real, desperate voice, echoing from somewhere far, far away. Don't let it take my place. And then everything goes silent. Pitch black, weightless, suspended between moments. The world disappears. Time folds inward. And you keep falling. There's no impact when you land. Just a slow, nauseating drift into something that isn't air, isn't water, isn't anything you've ever moved through. It holds you the way a dream holds you, gently, but with the quiet knowledge that it could choose not to let go. Your limbs feel distant, floating somewhere a few seconds behind your thoughts. The darkness around you pulses like a heartbeat. Not yours. Not human. Then, light. A thin, vertical razor of it, slicing open the dark. You squint, your eyes struggling to adjust. The light widens, expanding into the outline of a doorway. Not a hallway door, not your attic door. This one is older, heavier, swollen with water damage and time. Beyond it, you hear muffled crying. You're crying. You try to call out, but your voice doesn't move through the space. The sound sinks into the darkness like ink dissolving in water. The door creaks open on its own. And there, sitting on the floor, back pressed to the wall, knees hugged to their chest, is you. A version of you younger by maybe a year. Eyes red, clothes torn, phone clutched in trembling hands. They look up at you with a horror that freezes the breath in your lungs. "No," they whisper, "not again, please, not again." You step closer, instinct overriding confusion. But the moment your foot crosses the threshold, your younger self flinches violently, scrambling backward as though you're the monster. "Stay away," they scream. "You're not me, you're the one it made." You freeze. Behind you, the darkness shivers, and something moves within it. A faint echo of footsteps. Your footsteps. Slow, steady, inevitable. Your younger self sobs into their shaking hands. "It copies you," they choke out. "It copies every you, every time." Their head lifts, their eyes meet yours, raw, terrified, pleading. You can't let it finish. You can't let it take the last version. A cold realization stabs through you. You're not the final you in this place. You're not the first either. This creature, whatever it is, has been learning you across moments, across versions, across loops, harvesting pieces of you again and again until it becomes perfect. The footsteps behind you stop. A silence. Then, Your voice, calm and confident, speaks inches from your ear. I'm already perfect. A hand, your hand, clamps onto your shoulder. Your younger self screams as the world rips open like tearing fabric. Light flashes, too bright, too cold, and the darkness swallows you both. Time twists. Gravity lurches. Something pulls you apart and puts you back together wrong. You're falling again. But this time, you hit the ground. Hard. Your vision bursts into stars. Your breath staggers. Wood floors. Familiar. You're back in your house. You think, but the air is too still. The shadows too heavy. The silence too absolute. Your phone lies beside you. Screen cracked. Still glowing. A single notification waits. You lift the phone with trembling fingers. Incoming call, you now. The phone begins to ring. Slow, soft, almost gentle. And as the first note plays, you hear footsteps approaching from behind. Steady, unhurried, matching yours exactly. Your phone vibrates harder. The screen brightens. Calling you. And the thing behind you breathes in your voice. Ready to switch. The footsteps behind you stop. You hold your breath. Your body is a coil of tension, ready to snap. The ringing in your ears from the phone seems louder than reality. Your hand hovers over the screen, trembling, your thumb unsure if it even wants to swipe. Then, softly, a whisper brushes along your neck. Time to finish this. You spin around, but nothing is there. Only shadows, thick and waiting, pooling in the corners. The house feels hollow now, the walls stretching, the floorboards warped. Your phone vibrates violently in your hand. You stare at it. Incoming call, you now. You answer. Your own voice echoes through the line, hoarse, frantic, panicked. I warned you, don't let it finish. The line goes silent. Then a cold presence presses against your shoulder, your shoulder. You flinch, but it's not exactly you, not fully. Just a version shaped by fear, a reflection crafted to mimic your instincts. It whispers in your voice. Done learning, time to replace. A crushing force presses down on your chest, as though reality itself is weighing you. You stumble backward, tripping, falling to the floor. The phone slips from your hand. You crawl after it, heart hammering. The screen lights up one last time. A message appears, bright and sharp. Welcome to your new life. The shadows move, folding into themselves, stretching over your body. You feel yourself being lifted, drawn into something impossible. Your limbs grow heavy. The world tilts. You try to scream, but no sound comes. Your vision narrows to a pinprick of light. The phone's glow. You reach for it. Your hand touches the screen. Everything goes white. Then silence. You are still, you are alone, but something has changed. The air feels different, charged, aware. The shadows linger, but they do not move. The ringing has stopped. The house is still. You breathe slowly, carefully. The worst is over, or at least it feels that way. The phone lies beside you, its glow fades. You pick it up. No messages, no calls, just your reflection. And your reflection, finally, is you. The darkness retreats. The air warms. You exhale, long and steady. You sit on the floor, trembling, aware that the echoes of what happened will never fully leave you, but the immediate terror has passed. You rise unsteady and step into the hallway. Light filters through the windows. The house is quiet, peaceful, familiar again. The nightmare is over, for now. The house exhales around you. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the air through the vents feels soft now, distant, like it's settling back into a peaceful rhythm. You sink onto the couch, shoulders loose for the first time in hours, letting your breath slow, each inhale and exhale stretching longer, gentler. The phone rests on the table beside you, silent and ordinary, its glow nothing more than a faint shimmer, harmless, like a distant star. You notice the quiet, not the kind that's empty or heavy, but the kind that wraps around you, comforting, protective, like the soft hush of a room at night when everything finally slows down. Your mind begins to untangle itself from the loops of fear, your pulse slowing from a frantic drumbeat to a calm, steady rhythm. You feel the tension in your hands melt, your shoulders drop, and even your knees loosen, releasing the tension that had held you rigid for so long. Outside, the world continues. Trees sway gently, distant lights flicker, and the faint hum of life reminds you that you're still part of it. You close your eyes, imagining warmth spreading from your chest outward, a comforting glow that fills every corner of your body. Each breath pulls you deeper into that glow, lighter, calmer, untouchable by shadows or fear. Remember, the world, even after something frightening, always carries moments of softness. You are here. You are safe. You are breathing. Let the last traces of dread dissolve like mist in the morning sun. Let your eyelids grow heavy, your body sink deeper into comfort, and your mind drift gently, free from the echoes of what was. Relax, sink, breathe. Let yourself drift.